Good evening. We're reconvening from recess at 6:31 p.m. Today, Wednesday, September 17th. Begin on item 21, workshop fiscal year 2025-2026 budget.
Here I have the changes here. I go down the list of items that were requested. Oh, sorry. So one of the items was for the coordinator from the hot tax, utilize the hot tax funds to get somebody to do like a visitor center, PR, kind of coordinator. Let's see. So that item is right here. 29,128. Transfer from the hot tax funds for coordinator for the new position. And then we also have eliminate the reimbursement from DISD for the SROs from the police department. That was 121,256 in revenue. Oops. That's all.
So the 121, 550, the 256 would have been what the school would have given us.
Revenue.
Yep.
Yeah, because we had that.
State.
Yeah, we had the 80-20. So since,
Okay, since it all went down, okay,
yeah, so that's going away.
I'm sorry.
Was the coordinator, the new position, was it already
Your microphone.
No.
Ready.
have to add it to the expense?
Yeah, so
Can you turn your microphone, please?
Your
Can you turn
microphone.
your mic- Thank you.
So the new position, it was not already in the expenses.
no,
So you
so
added revenue to cover that, but you didn't increase the expenses.
no, what the direction was that don't add another person, just use these funds to split somebody's time. Say, okay, this time you work on city work, and then this time you do the visitor stuff.
Well, the problem.
It was not to hire another person.
The problem is that there's no time. There's not enough people to have the time to do this. So who would, I mean, you know, am I right?
We don't have the staff.
We don't have the staff
No.
to,
So if you want me to add a position, then I would have to increase the cost.
The costs.
Yeah.
Mhm.
well, the thing about it is, if we were gonna do that, right now, we don't have a place to put them. So we could put a hold on that position because we don't have a place to place them. If they wanna do the Chamber of Commerce, we have to do all the work in the Chamber of Commerce before we can hire somebody. And we can't hire somebody to come and work inside the city because we don't have the space. So
I mean, we can always find a location for them. However, but yeah, we can always amend the budget later if we
Yeah.
decide to move
Yeah.
forward with that position.
Yeah.
It's definitely something that we do want to get started. Just to add on to
Yeah.
what you're saying, yes, definitely we don't have the chamber ready, but doesn't mean that we can start the ongoing efforts to start the actions you're going towards creating a chamber,
So.
more so advertising the
If the plan
city.
is to create a chamber, we wouldn't hire the position. We would fund the chamber and the chamber would hire that person. That's
correct,
how-
but our conversation, yes, you're right, but our what we discussed was we wanted to get a head start and start advertising our businesses in the town using the hot tax money so that we could start that process before we actually get a chamber. But you're right. If we do get a chamber, yes, that organization would hire that personnel. But this was just a conversation that we wanted to get a head start on the advertising and whatnot. But we can always look at it and bring it back during,
So-
once we're ready for it or however.
For the budget, you want me to delete this, the This 29, one
I
28
guess for now.
for now? Okay.
Everybody else okay with that? What are y'all's thoughts? Council
Yeah,
one and
because,
two?
we still have to work on the chamber of commerce building.
Mhm,
And does that building belong to the city?
mhm.
No, so how
But
can
it-
we justify spending money?
It doesn't belong to the city of Dilley, but it belongs to the city of Dilley. I don't know if that. Yeah,
We're in charge of
Pay
it.
$1 a
Building.
I think we paid $1,500
lease or
now.
something.
I think it's
Who
1,500
they
To the
pay to?
railroad,
to the railroad.
it included the park.
It includes the park.
Includes the park.
The park is not out, you know, we have a title to it, but we,
But we have the right to do.
Yes,
It's a lease.
yeah.
yeah, I remember it was $1 a year. Yeah.
How could the
I
railroad-
think I've seen 5,500, but
And and
something
I
like that.
15 or 5,000, but it's more than $1. It used to be $1. Yeah,
All the time.
it's, yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, I
Okay,
think
fine
once we
with
get the building ready, then, because even if we do hire somebody. They're gonna do it from home, we're gonna, where we're gonna put them.
This is something we can discuss later, but the Chamber of Commerce is also not a part of the city. You can contribute funds, but it has to have its own.
Right. Mhm.
Committee.
Their own
to
committee.
run it,
Correct.
and it's not a part of the city.
Mhm. And that's understandable. We were just trying to get a head start to promote the city.
Mhm.
And other ways, because the concern was we're spending money from hot tax on events and things like that. So what can we really do that would benefit the promotion of the city?
So in reality, it's not the chambers, we're just gonna use the building of the chambers to house that person.
Yes.
If, yeah, we can contribute the building to house that person, we can contribute some money to the Chamber of Commerce. But it's a separate entity, and it should be made up of the businesses in town. So whoever we get,
For the chamber,
our
yeah.
job is to get a business to join the Chamber of Commerce, and pay dues.
Yes. But it can also it can be discussed again further,
Yeah, we could,
in the future,
Because
because
Maybe
again, a
like
lot of.
Like at a later date,
There
come
was
back with.
concerns, also about how we hire coordinators for events. This person could be used for that. We're using, but we can discuss later on. Sounds good.
Okay,
So that was on the general fund revenues,
Mhm.
we took out the 121 for the SRO revenue, and then we'll remove the 29, 128. Now, on the expenses for the general fund,
Mhm.
we increased by 10,392 for the municipal court clerk. It has been budgeted part-time, and this would be the cost to increase it to full-time.
That includes like the benefits.
The benefits, yeah.
I thought it was included in the last budget,
No, not,
thought I-
not full-time, but it was part-time.
because she was full-time.
No, it's been budgeted
yeah, I
part-time,
don't think there were.
No, she was full-time.
but the part-time has been.
She went from full-time to back to part-time when COVID hit. I mean, there's the Core Civic. But when they cut down Core Civic, they went and took her down from full-time to part-time.
I don't know, I
Yeah.
don't remember, but I've always thought of her as part-time.
But I thought it was in the budget already. That's why nothing should have been, it shouldn't have been bothered.
We'll find out right now. So currently, what's proposed in the budget for that position, well, not for that position, but the two positions in municipal court is 76,953. And so when you calculate that, it does come out to that amount. So it is only proposed for part-time. It's only 26, well. For our municipal judge and for the clerk, it's 67,409. And currently budget is 76,953.
Yeah, so this would just be for 10 more hours.
But isn't that just the cost of insurance alone? 10,000? Wouldn't that? It's like $500 times 12, that's
Times
6,000 as insurance
12%.
alone.
She gets
so
insurance already, don't she?
Yeah, so ten
she's already
hours,
insured?
Yes.
10 hours more times 52 weeks at, I believe it's, let's say $15 an hour. That's about $8,000.
Mm. So again, just for clarification, what's already budgeted in the proposed for that position or for
Yeah,
that department? It's already over
so in the,
8,000.
yeah, in the proposed, it's, the 30 hours. But on this one with the change, it's increasing it to the 40 to by 10 hours per week.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So you're gonna add another 10,000 to the 76,000?
Yes.
So that's gonna be over the
It's gonna
amount,
be over the amount,
because it's only,
67,000.
yeah, it's already calculated in there for a full time, but
Well, I guess it's better to be over than under.
That's only the expense. Just increase the expense.
Yeah, so it's just $10,000 increase.
No, that's not the issue, and not my point. Because my point is, I thought that we did the budget last year. She was
Budgeted for full-time.
full-time. That's why the budget was what it was. And Core Civic came in without anybody knowing, they moved her from full-time to part-time. So how can you justify that? Because they moved him to part-time, moved her from full-time to part-time, and the budget never changed
Yeah.
So that was like 2 years ago.
Last year.
last year.
When did Core Civic leave? Or it shut down?
They,
August
In
of
August.
2024.
So about a year ago?
yeah, so that's what I'm saying. Well, last budget, it was in the
Same
budget.
budget.
It was already
Huh?
covered by insurance?
Yeah,
Budget last
yeah.
time. you said.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
But again, if you want to increase it, we can increase it.
Yeah.
I got no problem with it. It's just the town thinking that we could increase it a couple of thousand, but hey, that's your call. I'll go with it. But you understand what I'm saying?
I understand.
We're just asking for clarification,
Yeah.
because it's already budgeted at 76,
Yeah.
which is municipal judge and a full-time clerk.
Yeah.
When you calculate, so we're adding more to it when it's already budgeted for it.
We're just adding the 10 extra hours per week.
Okay.
And the next item is, right here is we're reducing expenses by 225,375. This is, reducing the 2 SROs and then the, 1 police officer position.
But aren't we already reducing it on top?
No, on top was the revenue.
Oh, the revenue, okay.
This is the expense side. And then the next line is the administration. So these are the positions right here. Oops. That get allocated, their costs get allocated to prison utility and to the other utilities for supporting, hiring and administrative tasks.
So this is 70% between general fund and utilities. So the other 30% is coming from
It's going to prison.
the prison?
Yeah. So all we're doing here is we're adjusting from 55% to 60%. So for the city administrator, so it increases this by 7,351. For the city secretary from 50% to 60%. So it increases by 8,783. And what it's doing here, it's increasing the general fund, but then reducing the utilities, because in the utilities is where we had the negative, the deficit. So we're trying to help the utilities by reducing the allocation over there, but then it increases in the general fund slightly. It's not a big change. It's just a little bit to help the utilities. Same thing for the finance director position.
5%.
Well, where's the secretaries from 50% to 60%? And not 55% to 60 to 50 or to 60%. You know what I'm saying? It should be the same as yours, no?
No, it
Well,
was only
if-
50% once.
Yeah, because she's more like she does payroll, more time on, and if payroll gets allocated to everybody.
So your first percentage that you see there is what was originally budgeted through the general fund.
Mm-hmm.
So on the city administrator, 55% was budgeted from general fund.
Okay,
City secretary, 50%.
okay.
So what the second percentage number is what is going to be increased coverage through general fund.
In other words, this cost right here, like the three items, that was previously on the utilities. But since we had the bigger negative on the utility side, we're taking away from the utilities by reducing the allocation. It's confusing, but
Yeah, it is. It is. It's a little, so the city takes, and again, I'm going to, your salary is gonna be 71,000?
No,
no.
That's what I'm totally
No.
confused with.
this is just, so what this is showing is city secretary is before was 50% was
Uh-huh.
paid out of general fund. And the other 50% of her salary was paid from utility fund.
Okay,
So now the change that he's making is now her 60% of her pay is coming out of general fund. And 40% is gonna be coming out of utilities. It's not increasing the pay.
Just splitting the.
It's splitting the cost
Split
between the
cost.
two funds.
10% is coming out of utilities and 60% out of general fund. And he's saying the other 30% is coming out of prison.
Prison.
Oh, prison.
We also allocate to prison.
Yeah.
Same amount, just shared with different.
It's
different
split
Yeah.
it through all the funds.
Kind of bad itself.
So this is the increase that's coming from general fund.
That last half is it, center payroll coordinator?
Well, that's
that's gonna be
yeah,
removed
that's
right
gonna
now.
be removed.
That's that, yeah, that's the
Yeah.
one that we were just talking about earlier,
But when the Chamber of Commerce,
for the Chamber of Commerce.
we'll put on hold.
Okay, but it's, that right now the plan is that they work here.
Yeah, so we had discussion to include this to see how it would look. So we included this and now
I'm gonna take it out.
we're
How
gonna
much
take
does
it
that
out.
person earn now?
Well, we don't have anybody.
Well, we don't really
No,
have a
but
person.
she's
Yeah.
one of our employees
It's already an employee.
who is
Yeah.
given, is gonna be given more, duties. So how much does she earn now, he or she?
No, this is probably like at $17 a pay rate.
Yeah, but this is the same person, the payroll coordinator.
We're
They're
not
talking
gonna-
about Natasha.
No,
No,
no.
no, no.
PR means public
Or
relations.
public relations, not payroll, because I'm a payroll.
Yeah.
We've deleted it. We're not gonna.
Yeah, we're gonna delete this.
We're gonna delete the 58,000.
So that's, it's not gonna increase by 58,000, it'll be less?
And it's that.
Why is it
zero
going
out.
away?
Wow.
Zeroed out, okay.
Zero
Yeah.
out.
I'm better. I think that's a little bit too much. Someone. 58,000.
For what?
Well,
No,
that's-
no,
yeah,
but-
that wouldn't be salary, it would be like a fully loaded cost.
Benefits.
Everything.
Yeah, and then it's getting like with the transfer from the hot tax, it kind of gets reduced.
Mhm.
So that's it for the general fund?
Do we have surplus if everything works out like this?
Yes, it'll still
About 200,000.
about 200, yeah, it'll be a surplus. Okay, the next one. The next one on the hot tax.
One thing that I didn't see was that when we did the deletion of the pre, we had also done one in here in City Hall and one at
Oh, yeah, so we have that.
Public Works as
Yeah.
well.
It's gonna be the utilities.
It's gonna be through utilities, yeah. So the next one is the hot tax. We'll be removing that 29,128. And then here we go to the utility fund. So nothing on the revenues.
We already had, money coming out of the hot fund is transferred to general fund.
Yes, and that is to support the, over there, the civic center, the maintenance that goes on over there to mow the grass and,
So,
upkeep and all.
so we're already transferring 55,000 from the hot fund to the general fund.
Correct.
So
That's
now it's
what-
gonna be another 29,000.
No, so we're deleting that.
You're deleting that?
Yeah, we just said that right now.
Yeah, that's that PR,
So
the,
it's going from 55,000 to
It's gonna go-
29,000, the transfer.
Yeah, the 29, I'm gonna take it out. That was for the position, the visitor PR coordinator. So we're deleting that. We just talked about that. already.
What are we paying $85,000 for? What are those expenses for?
So that's a transfer from the hot tax to support the cleaning of the civic center. You know how we have to mow all that over there? It's,
That doesn't,
That,
that does not fit into hot tax fund expense. It doesn't fund tourism, it doesn't fund anything,
It doesn't.
it has nothing to do with tourism.
that's what
I think if you stretch it, convention center would. You have to use a little imagination, but
I thought it was for
but
expenses
it's
for
not for
here.
upkeep,
Mhm.
yeah, no,
Isn't the expenses for here, for the convention center?
what this expenses?
Yeah. Isn't that the reason that this was built as well? Then the old council go to Austin to go,
Well, part of the hot tax fund funds this payment. Is that what we're,
is that what it is, the payment for here?
because when we built this, part of the hot tax is designated to make the monthly payment for this facility.
I don't remember that.
you sell bonds. Certificates of obligation.
I
I
wanna
mean, there are the certificates of obligation.
That's why-
I'm
that's
not
like-
mistaken,
there's like
when they
4 for the general
rebuilt this
fund.
building, I think they did get they did get a
There's like
bond.
four
for
for the
somebody.
general fund.
I wasn't in.
But it
I
was
wasn't in the-
financed and we were gonna use hot tax fund to pay this.
But-
We were able to allocate X amount of dollars because that's why it was called the
Convention center,
yes.
yeah, that's why it has the name Convention Center.
I mean, I haven't.
So maybe that's what that's for, because I've never remembered we were using it for maintenance.
It shouldn't be used.
That's a lot of
It's not-
money.
Yeah, we can't designate. hot
Not an
tax
allowable
for
cost.
maintenance.
But you were told,
It's not,
how you
there's no
Yeah,
detail, there's only
there's
says-
something
He
from,
wasn't
yeah,
allowed.
a few years back, so.
Mhm.
it only says other
he
expenditures,
wasn't.
but it doesn't say what it is.
If it's not allowable expense, you
Well,
cannot
I get
utilize
that.
And
it.
it's going into
understand.
general fund,
But if he did, no.
so then there it gets get into the pool for general fund.
It might be.
I believe that it is the payment for here, for the convention center.
Mhm.
Well, once it gets into the general fund, then it gets in, it's like a bucket of water and you pour in a cup and it becomes one pool.
Right,
Mhm.
but what I'm saying is we were able to justify X amount of dollars per year off of the hot tax because of the convention center designation.
Yeah, that's probably.
We
that
did
makes sense.
rename that
That's what it
line item.
would be, but it just it got lost over the years.
We do have,
Because who's the city manager at that time?
it's a series 2015,
That is,
Mr. Perez, right?
$1.8 million.
Hmm?
Maybe
Irma
that's it,
knows.
'cause this was completed in 2017, right? Or dedicated in 2017?
I think it was before that. Before that, maybe 2016.
About 2015 and it was built by
I think
2017.
The plaque says 2017.
okay,
So if let's say it took 2 years, you had to get the money first, and so the series here on the issue is there's a 2013 for 2.6 million, there's a 2014 for 581, and there's a 2015 series for 1.7 million. So maybe that's part of it.
Yeah, but I mean, if it's made out of general fund.
One of
the-
them is streets and the other, I think the 2 million is the facility. And the other,
The five,
1.7 or what?
1.7,
Maybe the 1.7 is for this and the 2 million was for
streets,
streets.
and the 2.6 was in 2013.
I think this, then that one's gonna be streets.
Yeah.
Okay,
The other one is the facility.
and that one, the last payment is in 2028 for the streets, 430,000.
Mhm.
Gamero?
Yeah.
Okay, so here on the utilities, nothing being adjusted to the revenue. So here's on the water department, we're decreasing the general clerk position. That's the total cost with benefits and everything, 51,508. And here's the part where we're decreasing the allocation on the city administrator. So instead of 15, it's only 10, and that's 7,351. These are all reduction in expenses for utilities. And then the city secretary from 20% to 10%. So that's 8,783. And then the finance director from 20% to 10%. That's reduces the cost by 10,196 in the utilities. Then another thing was to go into the capital. So the water department, there was a line item, water main replacement. We're decreasing it from 20,000 to 9,761. That's a reduction, 10,239. And then for the water wells, decrease it from 30,000 to 0. And then on the sewer, we're decreasing one personnel. It's the 43,692. And then on the capital, we're decreasing from 8,000 to 0. So we're reducing by 8,000. On the sewer treatment, we're decreasing the capital from 30,000 to 0. So it's a $30,000 reduction. On the gas department, we're decreasing capital from 30,000 to 8. That's a 22,000 decrease. Gas main service line decrease from 5,000 to 2,500, so 2,500 decrease. Machinery and equipment decrease from 10 to 2,500. That's a $7,500 decrease. And then the meters and equipment decrease from 7,000 to 4,000 for a $3,000 decrease. So with those amounts, it balances we were at a negative 234,769. And then now with those adjustments there in the utilities, it balances out the fund.
So, these cuts seem pretty arbitrary. I mean, in machinery and equipment to 0, but during the year, you're gonna have to spend some of that. In the sewers, maintenance. I mean, this brings the budget into, but the logic behind it, I think it's arbitrary.
Yeah.
You say we're just gonna take this off, but that doesn't mean we're gonna spend less, because if the history says that's how much we spend each year.
It is possible
That we're gonna have those expenses in the
We're gonna have to
future.
have those expenses, and some things we don't have a choice. Machinery and equipment, 30,000 to 0. Okay, some of that is for maintenance. So, I mean, even if we don't buy any
And-
new equipment,
And some of these accounts, we looked at the history and nothing had been spent. So that's always, did the capital, yes.
And the laborer position that's been omitted, how many are currently in the sewer department?
Right now, you don't have any in the sewer right now, right? No. The sewer's not as active as the water.
The water take care of sewer pretty much.
Yeah, they'll ship people over. And those were the three, one from each, one from up front.
And that leaves still how many positions for Public Works,
Public Works.
including those already filled and vacant?
How many vacant he has right now?
Mhm.
He has two, you got two? Yeah. And in the prison, that we didn't, no changes to the prison. The prison. Fund.
And the two vacancies are for the gas department, correct?
Yes.
So that leaves no room to hire for any other positions.
You got two, correct? Chief? You have two vacancies as well? The lieutenant and,
There's two big. But then one, so just put down.
so you only have one then?
One vacancy.
And that'll be what would that be a rank or regular officer?
Could be either or.
Yeah. Just given whatever budget he gets, he can reconstruct his,
Yeah, cause I know he's got the lieutenant open right now, and then he's just got a regular patrol officer.
right, and that's why he's saying that if it's cut one, he might change that position to a patrol, a position that he needs more than the other position.
What I would suggest is budget for the lieutenant spot, because if it's low.
I get, I just, it's more of the same, but it's like that water well and tower. And decrease it from 30,000 to zero.
Zero.
All the water wells are. Those, because we put a zero there, it doesn't mean there'll be no expensive one. It is, like I mentioned, it balances the budget, but it's a little unrealistic, but may have to go with that, I guess. Until we get somebody to have the numbers.
Yeah, we definitely
Get the
do.
numbers, because this is, so have to be, because it's just not realistic.
I think there's still some discrepancies in the payroll wages. When I did our payroll current wages, both vacancy and filled positions. I had brought it up to Mr. Arredondo because we had an overage of 310,000 that we were over budgeting for in wages. And then I asked him to look into it and there was a breakdown. So of that, I mean, of all these wages, there's about 100,000 that's allocated for overtime and other positions and so forth. So,
And yeah, there's a little meeting we can reduce that.
yes.
But we could handle the overtime, you know?
Mhm.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yes.
there's no reason that I can say, I mean, except in isolated instances. But it's like a month to month, we shouldn't have overtime.
That's just some little information of what I requested. Because I was questioning why we were so much over in our wages compared to what we actually have discussed as far as positions that we're having filled in vacancies. So, and that's what Mr. Sanchez shared with me or Mr. Arredondo, that the payroll wages in the proposed budget is a condensed view of the detailed budget that was submitted before his time. The payroll wages include all wages that the employees may receive, which includes regular wages, part-time wages, seasonal wages, which includes the lifeguards, overtime, longevity pay, reserve pay, pre-employment requirement pay, certification pay, and on-call wages.
Usually what I've seen is we budget, the positions. And then at the end of the year, you don't use about $300,000 of that because of the turnover.
Yeah, but you can't measure that, or you can't count on that. We may have turnover, a lot of turnover, and we may not. But I don't see $300,000 different from turnover. It's some.
Then it goes into overtime.
Is there a budget for overtime in this budget? Is there money?
Yeah, there's
There's
but
about
Okay.
$100,000.
Recognize that and hope to, after the first or second quarter, if we can do a better job at that, then we can bring these figures more into line.
Yeah, I think we need to focus on operating at a full staff and not look at that, oh, at the end, we're gonna save because there's a turnover. Be proactive and look at overtime, compensation, things like that. And I'm not saying that it's not needed. There are gonna be times it's
Yeah, but-
needed, but it's how it's issued and approved to conduct overtime. What is it that they're doing in overtime?
But it shouldn't be every day.
not every day.
It's to the goal to bring these
Yes.
positions that we eliminated back,
Brady.
because they're
And
needed.
this is,
Now we have to increase our revenue, but
it's scary because, in reality, we're very fortunate that our health insurance didn't go up. Because remember, last year, we saved $500,000. So we wouldn't been, $500,000 if, let's say this coming August or next fiscal year, the insurance goes up to where it used to be, that's another $500,000 that we don't have money for. Or if Core Civic closes at any time, that's another $600,000 that we'd be $1 million
In the whole-
short.
Well, yeah, that's why you should have a fund balance of, six months expenditures, but we don't have that. But I think I'm optimistic as Core Civic, they're expanding, so they know, they don't just do it as a hunch.
they don't do it just in
They have,
case.
they
do it
have
'cause they know
surveys and lobbyists and. So I, at least not maybe with this first, as long as Trump is there.
Well, last
That's
time
three
they
and a
gave
half
us
years.
30
Wait,
days.
she's looking at another 3 years.
Last time they gave us 30-day notice and nobody was expecting that.
You know what?
Last time they closed, they
Oh.
gave us 30-day notice
Yeah,
and
that's
no
right.
one was expecting that. So,
Yeah, but that was
That
because
was
the,
like-
that was because the other administration that happened, you know. I don't see it happening with this one.
Well, we know where we stand and we just need to be proactive and be cautious.
No.
Of course, we don't want it to affect the operations because our employees do a great job in what they do. And without them, we would not be able to operate. And so we don't want them to feel that burden because of where we stand. So just be sure that we're being, very cautious of our operations and what is being done, how it's being expensed and so forth, and make sure that it is for the better, what it's needed for.
this is another thing. We're fixing to make these upgrades to the park and our park is trashed half the time. We need an additional person allocated to that park to keep it maintained every day. Clean, pick up trash, open the restrooms, close the restrooms. We don't have funds to hire an additional person that's needed there. We're gonna spend $200,000 on the walking trail. We need someone out there on a daily basis.
To take care of.
Or just watch whoever's out there right now that they're doing it on a daily basis.
Yeah.
For right now.
Right now,
Well,
we have
again,
one.
if we look at, keep a tight control of the numbers, we may be able to do that, like maybe after the second quarter, which would be next summer or the next spring. when it requires more maintenance.
And again, working together is what makes it happen. If they work together, it's just a unity
Yeah, I think we can
situation.
continue, keeping it clean, having one person, but that would be better, but, the way it is, it's probably not feasible.
Well,
right
we've
now.
discussed our expectations to each department head and everything like that, so I think us voicing this too, I mean, I like, Ms. Machado said, it takes a team.
Takes a team to
And it
do
starts
it.
with us and we give those expectations and it starts from the top. And department heads getting there, also part of working with their departments too, to get the
But
the
I mean,
operation stuff.
But you gotta see it as, hey, we have one public works, one park employee. They can't keep up with that, maintain the main park, the back park.
But right now, I'm sure he's getting help.
Mhm.
And that'll just have to continue, at least for now. Like I said, I think we can get a better grasp of the numbers. To see where we are and see if we can, like I say, if we scrutinize overtime, and I don't know how much it's in the budget for overtime. But I think that should be almost eliminated. It's other word, like, if,
But it's like you
because
said.
it's not overtime until they work 40 hours a week.
Okay,
So-
just like I said, if you got people working on the gas, they gotta do what they gotta do, and the other part of the time, they can go in and help out. That's
Yeah,
what,
and I'm sure
they're not gonna be always on the gas and, they're complaining about the streets need to be clean. Well, you only got 2 or 3 people in the street, so you got to pull from here to
Mhm.
here and everybody has to work. And again, we get to this situation, well, it's not my job.
Yeah.
Well, it
But I think
is.
that's being done now.
I think that the working together like that will make it happen. We can do it. It's just working together with the better attitude, the better, everybody get excited about it and we gotta get this done, we gotta get this done. Or, maybe, I don't know. That's the only thing I can see.
Well, I
Because-
think it's what the mayor said, we set expectations and they had to meet the expectations. I mean, I don't want to throw anybody under the bus, but I've never seen a public guy, the guy in charge of parks on a tractor ever since I've been around. I always see him on the truck. So I've never seen him cutting grass. I'm sure he does it, it gets done. But I think we are on top of it. It can be done more efficient.
Yeah, that's true. I'll agree with you on that because I've been back here for 3 months and the one I see is either Oscar or someone else cutting the grass and not the main guy.
No, I think he was out there when we went to look at the sidewalks, right? He was cutting grass.
Well, like I said, I'm just saying that I myself have not seen him. I've seen other people doing the work. He might be out doing something else, but I don't know, but
And that's just it, we don't know. And that's the part of the problem. Isn't it not knowing where our people are? Now, I don't wanna go right around town to find out where they are.
Well, we shouldn't have to. That's why the expectations there, this is your duties, this is what you're expected to do. They set up routines, schedules, hey, gas, so you're done, you're gonna go help this department and so forth.
Yeah.
Just like all we do here at City Hall, if they don't have, they're slow that day, they go help and share, duties and so forth. That's the same thing that's expected in all departments. That's part of teamwork.
Okay, what's next?
What's next?
As good as we can get it, I think, for now.
And those are all the changes, So,
When are we gonna discuss adjustments in salary or salary increases? But right now as it stands, is for general fund, it's looking like 205,000. That's how much is being transferred in. And so right now you're looking at if we go with these figures, you're looking at 155,000 excess revenue over expenditures. That first page. 155,000 excess revenue or expenditures. And again, that there's gonna, well, I don't know how much, faith we can have on that, but there's another $46,000 budgeted for transfers out
Okay, so
from
that, yeah,
utilities.
yeah, that's for a debt service for the USDA, something with the water, that's for a payment that has to be made.
For a payment,
Yeah, debt service payment.
but this transfers out.
Yeah, it gets transferred to another, like,
Not the general fund.
yeah, not the general fund, but it has to do with debt service for some water or wastewater project.
Yeah, well, then that looks like 155,000.
And we need to find out about this 85,000 hot tax.
Yes.
Yeah.
I agree.
Mhm.
Yeah, before we can move forward, I mean, we do need to make the
Discuss that.
decision, we need to
We don't discuss
discuss.
it now, not prepared to discuss it now. But, when are we gonna discuss that? Either we give a raise or we don't, but, we need to discuss that.
So we will have another. The meeting to adopt the budget will be on the 23rd. So, I mean, we can, like you said, are we in a
23rd,
position
that's,
to discuss?
Next Tuesday?
See, that doesn't give us time to discuss.
Well, we could,
Or, I mean, we can do it again after we adopt the budget. We
Yeah.
can come back and look at it.
We can.
And, like, we need to know how much like a 3% raise would cost.
That would be
It
60,000.
It would be about 60,000.
60,000,
60,000, a 3% raise?
yes.
Yeah, see, so, I mean, if we're looking at these figures in the general fund, and if they come through, we have 155,000.
Minus the 85.
Hmm?
Minus the 85. Which will give you,
Yes.
it'll give you at least a 3.
Mhm. It's
So
100 and,
we didn't get a raise, we didn't get a raise last year, right?
No,
So that would have to be 2 years going without a raise.
So did we have to allocate any funds for gas lines?
yeah, I don't see
mean-
that in here, but we do
I mean,
because
we
the
need to
railroad
allocate
is
funds for
requesting
that,
us.
otherwise we're
to
gonna
update.
pay more in fines to,
Well, not
They-
yet.
but,
But
but yeah, we gotta do it, otherwise we're gonna be fined.
Well, they're already requesting plans for that,
Mm.
so it needs to be.
That needs to be in the budget.
But everything was cut. Yes.
So, I mean, funds have to be
Yes,
allocated for that.
I mean, we can give him a direction to get that, we need the 85,000 breakdown of that, and then. We do need to set some money aside because it is being required. A plan was submitted, correct? So how much is it gonna cost?
Not spending any more money on the gas to see if we can get rid of it. By selling it or shutting it down.
Well, then we have to at least budget in the fines that we're going to be having.
But they're not threatening with fines yet, right?
no, wait.
When is
So
it,
they
when is that
usually
gonna
give you,
start?
they
They
usually
give-
give you time.
Yeah.
They write you a letter saying
Oh,
you're.
yes, but we were getting letters already to initiate the
When
plan.
did
in
it
place.
start? When,
So that's why we need to know what the
They-
timeline is
Because
for that.
time, because at Pearsall, they gave a timeline that you had to do so many per year for the.
Yeah, so we haven't been given a timeline yet, right, Rudy? Yeah, I think it's 8%, yeah,
8% of what?
8% of the lines.
per year,
per year.
but no timeline.
But they didn't give us when you had.
What
to
is
start.
8% of the lines?
Are you
At
sure?
8%, that
When
would
would
take 10 years.
Yeah.
That would be, what do we have, 21 miles?
27, I think, 21 or 27.
$1 million a mile.
I believe it is 21, right?
21, I think, 20 something, 21
21 miles,
miles.
I
Yeah.
think it was 21 miles. And
And
they
we have
figured it
to
was
take
$1
percent
million
of that?
a mile.
Huh?
Is it like 2 miles?
So 8%,
It's 2 miles?
yeah, yeah, 8% is like 1.7 miles.
8% is 1.7 miles.
$1.7 million.
I mean, the thing is, you know, you can budget something, but the business is not giving you the money to budget.
Mhm.
Wait, let me,
I understand that, but then we're gonna get fined.
But
But I don't think it's like right
but I
now.
don't see how you
Yeah.
can be
They give
fined
you
if you
time,
can't,
they
if
give
you
you a
can't.
year
do
or so
it. I
at
mean, it's
least.
just,
To even
Hey,
start.
KCEQ doesn't care if you can't do it, they're gonna fine you and they don't care. They don't care what your budget is.
they care.
No, they don't.
No, they don't.
No.
Well, like I said, when it was in Pearsall, it got to that point.
Uh-huh.
And that first year, they didn't do anything, and I think they did get a fine. But then, but it didn't, they give you chances, so.
There
I
has
think
to be a
we're looking-
timeline.
There's-
I mean,
My
there's not-
experience over there.
That's what I'm
we're
saying,
talking
they
about
just
another
can't,
year
I mean-
Before it gets to that.
They're not gonna implement policy if they don't have a timeline. They have to have a timeline.
But they.
Maybe
keep-
we just
they
don't
give
know
you a
about it.
timeline, like that
Well, I'm
ain't-
sure we have
But
one.
it has a beginning date. So,
That would be something like for Simon Pena.
what's time?
well, I mean, it's just not, it's not possible.
Oh, we,
Okay,
But I say we
so
don't
my
have-
question is if, okay,
we have a year
we
to-
get, we
we have
get
a
fined
year
and we
to-
get fined and we get fined
Uh-huh.
and we don't pay, what are you gonna do?
we're gonna still have to pay. We're gonna
Like,
add
but
that.
what is,
What
Right.
can they do?
The
what
fines
can they
just-
do? That's my
You know,
question.
The fines just keep getting bigger
Uh-huh,
and bigger and
okay.
bigger and bigger.
But what can they do? What is their, you know?
When they put us in jail.
They- they're gonna put us in jail.
That's what's gonna happen. We're gonna bankrupt with all the fines.
No, but,
No,
you
but
know,
I
I
mean,
don't know.
It's getting.
I don't know what they can do.
That's what I'm, that's my question is, so what?
What are
if
the
we-
consequences,
Yeah.
is what you mean?
Not that,
Not like,
not
what are they
that I
gonna do?
wanna pay them, it's just that I wanna know
They
what.
can probably shut us down. Come and say,
And they shut down our gas.
they
to do
can
us a
come in
favor.
valve over
Huh?
there. huh?
And they shut down our gas to do us a favor.
Well, the
losing
gas
money.
system, they shut down the gas system, so if you connect, to the system, you don't have any gas.
Even if they give you a timeline, it's 1.7 miles per year. You're not gonna finish that in a year, so then by the time you finish, you already have another one that you have to do.
Mhm.
It's
It
it's
just
an
doesn't,
ongoing
it just
process.
doesn't make sense, you
That's
know,
why I
again, I'm
think,
not the
Have
government.
two alternatives, see if we can sell it, that would be the best one. Or shut it down, because I don't see any other alternative. We don't have any other alternative.
Well, the presentation that Prodigy brought,
Yes.
it makes sense if we get awarded
If we get
the
away.
grant money.
If
And
you
he
get a-
said that,
If you get a grant, but it was. for
but the
gas
way
station.
he's gonna do it is gonna double our mileage of gas lanes. You're gonna go on each side of the eastman, so instead of only one gas line down the middle, it's
It's
gonna
gonna
be
be
two
two.
per street, so we're gonna, instead of having 21 miles, we're gonna have 42 miles. But it's supposed to be a non-cruel.
Yeah, but that's a gamble. We don't know that it's gonna happen. And it usually takes a year or so for the grant to finalize.
Yes.
Maybe
But we have to
another
make a
year
decision what we're
before-
gonna do.
Before bids are let and we can draw down money too. Even if that was to start right now, you're looking at 2 years. Or it can start, if everything works the way it should.
Well, we can say to the railroad commission,
We
we're,
can tell the.
we're in the
railroad-
process of fixing it. No, but
We could tell the railroad commission, look, this is what we've got, if we already have the grant in place and all that. But
Did you ever look at the
I
the
have-
website that I sent you?
Yeah, I haven't had a chance.
So what do we do? No,
what's it for?
accept it or?
Finances, so-
No, today's just a budget workshop.
It's a budget work.
Yes, next week on Tuesday, the 23rd, we will come back. It was posted today to adopt the proposed budget.
so.
Or if we don't,
Adopt this, whatever you come up with these changes. And we'll tell our employees that it doesn't mean they're not gonna get a raise, but we have to pass it by the end of the month. But they will come back in October or November and try to figure something out so they can get something. I would like a 3%.
At least give them
raise.
some hope.
Yeah.
Give them hope. And I think, yeah, I think with the right. Tightening the belt, we can do it, especially if it's only gonna cost us $60,000.
Okay.
20%.
Yeah, we had estimated about 20,000 per 1%.
You know, it's something that the CPI, Consumer Price Index has been raising by 3% each
Mhm.
year.
Yeah.
So they're already behind. They already lost 6% buying power.
Yeah.
But you know, they give the same money, they can buy less things. And again, you know, all the economists are saying when these tariffs kick in, the prices are gonna go up again, even at a higher rate. So,
The Federal Reserve to cut a quarter of a point.
you know what?
The Federal Reserve did
A 0.5% increase on the,
no,
on
they
the,
cut
They cut the.
They cut the rate.
cut the rate quarter.
well, if you're buying a house, that helps you, but, or even maybe even a car, but
But they said they might do it more
If
before the end
you-
of the year.
if you
They
buy,
don't
if you're borrowing,
Even the.
you know,
credits are at
if you're an
6%.
oil company and borrowing $20 million, you know, that helps. But, you know, it's supposed to stimulate jobs. But that will have an upward trend on the economy, but there's the traffics that are, the tariffs that are holding down also. And there's inflation, we have inflation too. So it's a gamble. I don't think that's the fix that says, okay, go down half a quarter percentage is what they did. Go down a quarter percentage and okay, everything is fixed.
No, they're gonna do more, they say, but they're gonna kind of.
Well, that depends on how the economy goes. I mean, it's supposed to depend on how the economy goes, but with Trump putting his people in there, they don't go by logic and what the economy says, they just go by what Trump says. So,
Okay, so we're
Back to the
done. Any
workshop.
more questions? Request,
So what's
modifications?
what's gonna be the directive for our city manager, administrator? To go back and fix what?
well, if it doesn't fix the budget in my estimation, but at least it makes it look better. And we have reduced some expenditure with it, mainly with the positions that have been eliminated. And so, like I said, here in the utilities, these cuts are pretty arbitrary and it's a fantasy. But they may be the best thing we can do right now. But it's just not for real. Has anybody applied for the finance director?
Yes,
Who, I mean, you said.
we have two?
Huh?
2,
Is there two?
I heard 1, but I haven't got back with Natasha.
I heard of
You
one.
have one application?
I think the last time she told me there was 1. Yeah,
Is somebody local?
I think she said somebody local.
Yeah. Well,
Do
to what
they
I
have a
heard,
qualification?
I haven't looked at the resume.
We can discuss that later. So yes, before we need to discuss about the pay increase, but I would also suggest to council that we take a look at the current rates that employees are earning and make sure that we are aligned with years of service, the positions and so forth. It might be things that I've looked over. There's some things in question, not negative, but just to make sure that before we give the raises that adjustments or whatever needs to be made, because there's a little
When
bit
you
of,
do that, you're gonna give more of a raise to the people who earn more.
Mhm.
And a 3% across the board.
no, that's not what I'm saying. I'm not saying to give a raise based on years of service. Before we discuss increases, I would want us to direct the administration to make sure we look at the current pay rates of the employees based on their years of services to ensure that what they are earning, that it's, justifiable, because I think some are still earning lower than somebody who's come in a year or two and they've been here for 8, 9 years. So I just wanna bring that up.
Well, that complicates things and the easiest is at 3% across the board. If we settle that at 3%, which seems to be affordable. Because if you're saying you're gonna get,
Yeah, cause then we
you're
would,
gonna get a 5% and this guy's gonna get a 2%.
then we would go on.
It is gonna create problems.
Adjust individual, that's, yeah.
Okay.
Everybody gets the same. May not be happy, but at least.
Again, I'm not referring to the increase that we're gonna give. I'm referring to what has been done in the past of giving increases throughout the years or months because of certain individuals receiving certain duties. They've gotten more increase while others who have been here, their pay is not according to the pay schedule or pay study that we did. That's what I'm asking. Now, I'm not saying through increased pays based on years of service. I'm saying before that, there's other things that we need.
But you
to
say
look
to
at.
consider that.
Yes.
Okay, but so you are saying that. I mean, why consider it if it's not gonna affect them with the outcome?
I already explained it 4 times.
Mm.
All right, we'll meet on Tuesday, the
Tuesday,
23rd.
yeah. I'll make the changes.
Okay. Do I have a motion for adjournment?
Motion for adjournment?
Motion second for adjournment,
Second it.
second by Councilmember Place Two, Alisa Machado. First motion by Place One, Everardo Castillo. All in favor?
Aye.
We have adjourned at 7:32 PM. Thank you.